Take that, take that.
Growing up, I always listened to classic Bad Boy songs. I was a big fan of G-Dep, Sean, Mace, my pops. The whole Saga Continues album, I grew up while they was creating that and being at the music videos and stuff. So it was a blessing. That's one of my favorite eras of music.
Do you like playing more so like a larger crowd like this or intimate vibe? Which one?
I like when it's large crowd.
Yeah? Large crowd. You probably be on stage having it up.
Yeah.
That's exactly my question. So you've always been a part of hip hop. When did you realize that you wanted to contribute in the way of rapping?
Honestly, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur and a rapper since I was like 4 years old. It was crazy because that was the first thought and first thing I wanted to be. There was never no other profession, a doctor, a fireman, or anything. I always wanted to be.
Okay, so you're not even 21 yet.
Yeah.
Do you have plans for when you turn 21? Is there something that you really want to do or experience?
I want to throw a real big party when I turn 21. I remember my last big party was when I was 16. So
Yeah.
it's time to bring it back. Have the city on tilt.
That's
Facts.
so great. And now you left college to pursue music.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any plans to go back to school and finish?
Well, I didn't like drop out. I was gonna go to USC for Dr. Dre's music program.
Right.
But I just figured that I should just focus on music, and it was a lot of traveling and stuff, and I was already towards the end of high school, missing a lot of school,
Right.
trying to catch up, so I thought it was gonna be better to, you know what I'm saying, focus, and it was a better opportunity.
A rapper. And I always would tell my dad that, tell my mom, and they would be surprised that I would actually choose to do that.
What did
So
they say to you at the time? Were they like encouraging?
At the time, they were like, really, why you want to do this? You know what I'm saying? They was really trying to figure it out, and I always would just say, because that's what I want to do, that's what I love to do.
Yeah.
And I've started. I wanted to bring the 90s vibe to this project because I feel like right now in the music industry, it's lacking uniqueness and it's a little watered down, people sounding the same. And I feel like it's just a breath of fresh air. And I grew up listening to the 90s. I love the 90s, love that whole music era, so can't wait for the people to hear. I'm not saying music today is bad in any way. I love music today, the trap, the whole new wave, but it's definitely good to have a new sound and just new vibe. Where, so yeah, to start off, I'm King Combs, Christian Combs from New York City. Well, I always was playing around with it when I was younger. Like, I did my first song when I was like 7 years old, but really started taking serious, I was like 16 years old. All my life, I really wanted to do it, believe it or not. Like when I was young, like a baby type shit, when they asked me like, yo, what do you want to do when you grow up? I would say like a rapper, entrepreneur all the time. At first, when I just first started rapping, I was really just working on my writing skills. And to do that, I didn't really have any producer that I like could fit my sound yet. So I was just trying to figure out my sound basically and just listening to old beats or going on YouTube and just searching beats to write on. And then I would just go in the studio and record them and just turn them into songs. Now I feel like from New York, I like Dave East, how he's doing, his lyricism. 6ix9ine, I like him too, his aggression. I feel like he's bringing something dope to the music industry that we needed. Cut to that my whole life.
So Christian, your first name is Christian, but you go by King Combs. How would you like us to call you this morning?
You can call me whatever, King Combs, Christian.
All right.
Yeah.
A lot of dad swag. I see some of your videos, your sound, your look, your style. It's very New York.
Yeah.
Which you grew up in New York, but you're in LA now, right?
Which is a fact, yes.
Right. So do you feel like you're gonna merge the two sounds together, or is it New York all the way?
Well, I feel like my sound is really just who I am. If it sounds New York, that's probably right, because that's where I'm really from, and that's like my home and where I get my roots, Harlem roots, Mount Vernon. So, yeah, I feel like it's just a feel-good sound. Not really, I wouldn't say it's a state. I'm
sure
not
you-
trying to sound like a specific area, you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
you're right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
High Cash, CYN, Nico Brim, Smokey Margella, Bass Swag, all from New York, killing the game right now. Shout out to all my CYN guys, man.
The fans want to know, like, when they're in the crowd, how can they be as memorable in the crowd as you are on stage?
In the crowd, I want to see people crowd surf in the crowd. That's just
I was
dope
saying
watching.
that. I was thinking that.
I feel like that's dope.
I
I
know
feel
that
like
to somebody else.
if you dance and move, it just automatically feels like you perform. It just feels like you're in a vibe. Never stand still and just watch. It's like,
Yeah, you gotta jump or something.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you did.
I turn up.
When I just got older, it's just something that I knew I really wanted to do because I did sports and stuff, but my heart was never really in it. But every time music played or I got in the studio, it was always in my heart. King Combs, that was shortly after my 16th birthday party. I had a big party in LA at One Oak, and then the whole theme was just like royalty, and then people were just calling me that afterwards in my comments. So I put my Instagram name, King Combs. And then from there, just most of my fan base just started to know me as King Combs.
I'm sure you get a lot of experience and a lot of your sort of influence from your dad, but who else do you get influence from?
Snoop Dogg, I got a lot of influence from. Michael Jackson,
Okay.
James Brown,
Those are big names.
Drake, yeah.
Nice. So have you been in the studio with them?
I've been in the studio with my pops and Drake. Yeah, and
That's big.
I didn't get a chance to go with James Brown and Michael Jackson. That would have been crazy though.
Yeah, it would have been crazy.
OD.
People around you, ultimately, what would be your dream situation? What does that look like for you?
Dream situation for me would be to be at the top of the industry and just be one of the best.
Right.
Like, for people to have me in their top 5, to look up to me as a great performer, like businessman, artist, and just everything. Just be a great, you know what I'm saying?
You know you're going up against your dad, right? At this point, you're trying to...
Yeah, man, I got this. What's up, Pops?
Growing up, I listened to a lot of Biggie, Nas, a lot of Michael Jackson, Snoop Dogg, my pop stuff. I've been in the studio watching him, but he's never been in one of my sessions ever. Like, even from the very beginning, like, he just threw me in there kinda and just said, yo, like, you gotta work for it and do it on yourself. And then he know if he was there, it might turn me in a different direction. Like, he just wanted me to figure it out myself.
Speaking of the music, because you're gonna be coming out with an album soon, but you just collaborated with Chris Brown for your new track, Love You Better.
I'm single right now.
You just walked out to it. It's a hot track.
Oh, yeah,
Tell us,
thank you
what
so
was that
much.
experience like?
Yeah, making that song was crazy. It was just a blessing because I always dreamed of doing work with Chris Brown. Growing up, he was a big influence. His dance moves, his stage presence, and his personality always inspired me. So it was great doing that song with him. We knocked it out real quick, too. It was like, I actually played him the reference the day before he recorded the hook, and I just played him the song at first, 'cause I was playing my whole catalog, the whole 90s Baby project.
Right.
So he just fell in love with the sound and the whole nostalgic vibe, and he couldn't wait to do it. And he offered to do the song. So
Wow.
it wasn't even like I was asking my dad for a favor or I was asking him for a favor. He actually asked me like, yo, I want to hop on this. This is dope. So it
Any
was
other big
just exciting.
collaborations coming up, possibly?
Yeah, definitely. I got one with Jeremiah that I'm really
Jeremiah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Naughty. One with Rich the Kid, How to Ball. So it's a lot of exciting things coming up.
All right.
You're busy.
All right, well, what have you learned from your dad? Tell us one big piece of advice that he's giving you.
Of course, to never stop, but to also be yourself, be humble, and just know that the sky is the limit.
There it is.
So as far as your artistry, what can we look forward to in 2018?
As far as my artistry, I think I'm gonna bring a new sound to the table, a new vibe, something that you're probably missing, and a lot of new sounds that you've never heard before.
Guy, including the fact that we spotted you at the Met Gala.
Oh,
What is
yeah.
that? What is that scene like?
Yeah, the Met Gala, that was crazy.
Give
At
us
first,
all the insights.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, like last year or the year before that, I didn't even really know what the Met Gala really was. Like, I thought it was an award show or something like that. I didn't even know. So when I got invited this year to go with Dolce & Gabbana, it was just like, wow.
Okay, what happens on the inside of the doors, though, that we don't get to see? Any stories?
Inside of the doors, it's like, it forces you to be really like communicating with all the other artists and entrepreneurs there. It's not like loud music or like a club atmosphere. It's real intimate. So I like that. That was very different
Who was at
than
your
anything
table?
I've ever done.
It was a lot of people from Dolce & Gabbana,
All right.
Steve Harvey's wife.
Oh, nice.
The main character from Sex and the City, her name is
Sarah Jessica Parker?
Sarah
There you
Jessica.
go.
Probably something that could relate to me is the pranks they used to play. My uncle D-Rock, he got this film on YouTube. You go watch it, and it just shows like the behind the scenes and how Junior Mafia used to act. And it just reminds me a lot of like CYN and how we act. So they was pranking this dude Gutter, I think, with baby powder. And like they was slapping him. It was just bad funny. My pops, D-Rock, Mace, Lox, all them. On the No Way Out tour, Puff Daddy and the Family. That whole era is just classic. Favorite song of my dad's would have to be Can't Nobody Hold Me Down.
Can you
can't
give us
wait to see it.
anything about it? Like,
Yeah, I can. So the video is basically inspired from Biggie's One More Chance music
wow.
video. Yeah, we got DJ Khaled as a cameo coming out as
Wow.
Heavy D and stuff like that. And there's a lot of good cameos in the party, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, this is
Word.
good. I like this.
Yeah.
And what did your dad think? Was he
I mean,
with
he
it?
thought it was dope.
He was
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the concept?
It was a no-brainer. He was like, yeah, it's hard, it's hard.
Have to, like Biggie or have to like Tupac or whatever, but I love them and they inspired me a lot in my life and inspired me to really make music. So I decided to make the mixtape 90s Baby, just paying homage to that whole time in the golden era of hip hop.
Listen.
Peace, Craig Mack, of course, Flavor in Your Ear. Definitely study him a lot. Nas was a great inspiration. Biggie, Mace, my dad, Snoop Dogg. A lot of great inspires.
So right now, do you have time for a love life? Are you dating? Or are you enjoying just making music? Or how's this looking for you?
You know, as you can see in the single Love You Better, love is a big part of my life. Everybody need love. You need love no matter
Facts.
what. Always need something to hold you down. You know that?
Does your dad or your family, your mom, do they have to approve of who you date?
It ain't got to that point yet where I'm like, yo, ma, it's Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Nah.
Oh, this is the best.
I remember my first set was Bad Boy for Life. And that music video was mad fun. Like they was outside having like a cookout, basketball game. Shaq was there, Ice Cube, everybody. So that was a great experience. Like my first music video ever being on set. So it was crazy. CYN is basically the clique. It's a group full of young black men. We all from New York. We grew up together. When we first met, obviously it wasn't like we all did music. We knew each other from sports, school, family, friends. But then as we got older, like and matured, we all came together and wanted to do music and had the same dreams. So we got into the studio and we meshed perfectly. So Paid in Full is actually my brother Justin's idea to hop on that. We a big crew and we all was nice. So we just wanted to all hop on one track and that never really happens because it's like 8 of us in the whole group. The Paid in Full beat was just perfect. Like we played it, we was in the studio, just came back from Malibu. We was on a pretty good vibe, but it was late night, so something just had to happen to spark the session. So they played that beat, and I went in there first, just started freestyling, just kept going, boom, thinking of what I'm gonna say. And I came up with that verse, then Trey came after me, Shaq, and it was just history after that.
I know that you've lived on both coasts, but which coast seems more like home, East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought West for you, just because, you were out there for so long.
Nah, it
And
definitely was. But when I first moved out to the West, I hated it. Like I
Really?
didn't want to. But as time progressed, all my friends moved out there and everything. Now I love it. But I choose the East though.
really,
Yeah. Wow. You like the West better?
I like the weather. The weather's
nah,
nice.
Of course. Hold on. Yeah, when it's brick out here, you can feel it in your chest. Nah, I'm
I'm
in
going
Miami
back.
with it.
I feel like 20 years from now, we'll still be on top. Yeah, for sure. That's what I feel like I'm gonna do with the Bad Boy legacy. I definitely feel like I gotta live up to this legacy right here. And I love it. I feel like it's a different type of calling than the random person has. I feel like it's a different type of responsibility that I'm held to, and I'm ready to take that. All About the Benjamins, Been Around the World, those classic Bad Boy tracks definitely held a big place in my heart because that's when I started really discovering who I am and who my family was. just listening to the music when I was alone and just thinking about it, like watching them and just like knowing my surroundings. So that definitely helped shape the man I am today.